All right, hello everybody. Welcome to a special edition of the Summer Blockbuster Review. This is the Terminator Genesis review session. We're coming to you a week late because vacation happens, and honestly, we need to take vacation from time to time. But we did go see the movie, and we're here now to review it. As always, I have my host Richard Brown with us. Richard, go ahead and introduce yourself.
I'm doing very well, sir. I'm doing very well. How's everybody doing up in the interwebs today?
I hope they're doing well. Well, just a reminder that the Q&A session is live, so if you have any questions, feel free to go ahead and submit them, and we'll try to get to them before the end of the show. But Richard, go ahead and start us off with your thoughts about the movie.
Whew, okay. Arnold was great. There you go. It was to quote a line that I found very funny of Mad Max Fury Road. The best way I can describe this movie is mediocre. I personally, it's like there were cool things that happened at the beginning, and without getting into the spoilers of the movie, it's like it was a really cool concept that the trailer destroyed, and that didn't help it. One, and then two, it just, I don't know, it's kind of like, all right, Skynet, you're the most persistent computer program I've ever seen built. Like, Microsoft needs to deal with that. Like, then you got to get what on Skynet's on, because I'm telling you, it's just like, at some point, you got to stop. And I would be remiss to say, I mean, I thought it was okay, but I'd like to see Arnold not come back. Like, I just kind of want this to kind of end where it is, and I'm good. So yeah, that's kind of it for me. It seemed very mechanical. Again, I would have to say that the best thing about the movie was Arnold Schwarzenegger, like him as the Terminator. Like, it almost, like, it's not like the Terminator 3 Terminator. This is like Terminator 2 Terminator. Like, he actually filled that role very well. And even then, even though he did the same kind of like gesturing and trying to blend in kind of stuff, it just worked better in this movie. But outside of that, I don't know, the young lady that plays Linda Hamilton's character. I don't know what her name is, but she did a pretty decent. Did a decent job. And then the guy who played Kyle Reese, who's kind of like just that dude that's in action movies, he's serviceable. I mean, he works. I mean, but there's nothing there's nothing in the movie, I hate to say, that's like earth shattering. There was like the little thing at the end with the Terminator. I thought that was very cool, but beyond that, it's just kind of like, Like, I walked out of the theater, was like, well, that was okay. I didn't spend a lot of money on it, so I'm okay.
Yeah, I'm in the same boat as you, Richard. I thought the movie was okay at best. I thought they were definitely trying too hard to do what Fox did with the X-Men and what Sony's going to pretty much going to do with Spider-Man. They're just trying to set it up as to, okay, you've seen the previous ones. Either you hate them or you love them. Now we're just going to start off, get a new, younger cast, and bam, here you go. This is the movie that brings all of that together.
Right.
I agree with you. Arnold was the highlight of this movie, because to be as old as he is, to do an action movie like this, I was shocked.
And it was believable on top of
it. It was very believable on top of that. I mean, without getting any spoilers, of course, it wasn't young Arnold that was fighting himself. So That was pretty cool. I could have been done a little bit better with the computer graphics that they used to interface the two together, but it is what it is. Like I said, I just really felt as though that this was the start of something more to come down the road that I just don't want to see, but I know it's going to happen in the future. It's like Skynet. I want to stop the machine, but the machine is going to keep reproducing itself over and over and over again. So with that being said, let's just go ahead and get into the spoilers. I want to start with this because, like you said earlier, with the trailer, there really isn't much more that you can really spoil about this movie, except for that John Connor turns out to be the evil Terminator in this movie. Pretty much you saw everything in the trailer. Like the clips with the scene of the bus flipping on the bridge, that was neat. Arnold fighting young Arnold, that was neat. I think the only thing that you really didn't see was that whole hospital scene But that
Yeah.
hospital scene isn't worth any ticket price, in my opinion, to go to the movie theater just to see that one scene in the movie. The only thing that I will say about this movie is that after seeing Jurassic World and loving Jurassic Park, I was thinking, oh man, Jurassic World's going to be a great movie, and it turned out not to be, in my opinion. Seeing Terminator Genesis and really loving Terminator 2, being the first one that I saw, I was thinking this really was a watered down Terminator 2.
Mm-hmm. I can see that comparison. Yeah, because they threw so many nostalgia hits at you, like boom. It felt, to be honest, it felt the same way like Jurassic World did. It's like they threw little nuggets at you, like, hey, remember the T-1000? We'll put that in this movie too. Hey, remember Come With Me If You Want to Live? We put that in this movie too. Oh, look at Terminator stuff. We throw that. It's like they just take it. It's like they're trying to hook you with nostalgia and not hook you with plot. I mean, it's like the whole time I was watching the movie, I cared more about the Terminator, Arnold's Terminator, than the actual human cast. Because I mean, even though the concept of it was cool with using John Connor as a Terminator, I mean that concept was actually pretty cool. It just didn't flesh out very well for two reasons. One, it just wasn't written really all that great, and the other was the fact that he completely spoiled it in the trailers. If they would have honestly left that nugget kind of behind and didn't even mention it or didn't even show that John Connor was even a thing, it would have been like, oh, well, that's different. And then you would have had some sort of surprise in the movie. But right now, it's kind of like you're watching the movie really to figure out how it ends. And to sit through a movie for 2 hours just to try to figure out how it ends, there's no fun in doing that. You know, unless it's something that you're okay with being spoiled with. Because I didn't ask to get spoiled with Genesis. It's more like with this movie, it's like you get spoiled, now figure out how it ends. It's like they literally pretty much felt that they spoiled. They're like, well, we don't have any more things to show blow up, so let's go ahead and spoil the plot. And then that was it.
I have to 100% agree with you on that, because when the T-1000 died early on in this movie, I was thinking, well, what am I going to watch for the next hour and 15 minutes?
Yeah, he was gone like 20 minutes. It was like, okay.
Yeah, because I already know that John Connor becomes the evil Terminator. I know that happens. I was thinking that maybe the Liquid Terminator and Arnold team up to take him out. They killed him so quickly in the movie, I didn't know what was going to happen. So, like you said, to sit through this movie just to see, like, okay, well, how are they going to end this? It really isn't worth it. To be honest with you, I was pretty much, after the T-1000 died, I was going, okay, how can they turn this into a franchise property to make more movies after this? What are they going to do?
That's exactly right.
That's what I was watching this movie. So, all in all, if you want to know how they're going to make more Terminator movies, watch this movie. That's my final thought on this. Richard, any more spoilers you want to give?
I mean, I don't know if you stayed for the mid-credit scene or not.
I did.
Okay, yeah, and they showed Skynet, quote unquote, still exists, and it kind of, like, to me, it honestly feels that the way this movie felt from the soul behind it, it felt just like Jurassic World. It's like, we're gonna have another movie because we're going to make money and we need to have another property. Like for me, Jurassic World can't really exist because, for one, how do you have a theme park that completely fails and then you turn it around and it fails again? Like, there's not really too much more you can actually do beyond that unless you have like Dino Riders, and that's just what it alludes to. And I'm like marginally interested to see how that's going to turn out, because it's not going to turn out well, in my opinion. And this movie feels the same way. It's like if Skynet's been, like, they've sent so many Terminators back. Like, they just keep going back early and early. Like, just wipe out the human race for all get out. Just stop, human evolution, period. Like, they keep sending Terminators back, and at some point you're like, okay, it's like, it's a cool premise. Like, when you do it once, like in Terminator 2, it's like, okay, they did that premise, and it's like, okay, you did it once, fine. And then you do it again. And then you do it again. It's just like, okay, after the fourth time, like, all right, well, this next Skynet thing that they're trying to put up, it can't use time travel, and there's no need to send in another Terminator back. It's just kind of like, well, what do you do? Like, there's nothing that, I mean, we say that now, but you know, hey, they made another Transformers movie, so hey, you know, someone could pull a rabbit out of their hat and then be like, hey, this is gonna be Terminator 5. I personally just want them to stop. Like, it's like, if they didn't include that last credit scene, it would have been a good way to end it, and then that would have just been like, okay, it's all right. Like, to me, if I would say that from a movie existence standpoint, I'd say you got Terminator 1, 2, and then this movie, because this movie faithfully addresses the old story, you know, and it doesn't do all the crazy, like, hip stuff that Terminator 3 tried to do. And then we're not even going to go into Salvation. So, you know, so like for me, it's like 1, 2, this movie, and then, okay, that would complete the set. You reworked Skynet. You've made it not be a threat to humankind. Let's just call it a day, and then we're done. So that's just for me what they need to do. Just stop. Like, I really just feel better if they just stop. Like, now. I don't have money for this. Oh man, yeah.
So, I mean, looks like it's going to be a quick review. I don't have anything else I really care to say about this movie. Rolling into the rankings, you know, and I went back and I looked. I'm thinking. I'm sorry. Let me collect my thoughts. It's live television, people. I went back and I looked at the rankings that we've given previous movies this year compared to last year.
This year sucks.
Yeah. I mean, pretty much sucks, because with this movie, I mean, my inner child wants to give it a better ranking, but I have to give it a D. I can't justify this movie as it shouldn't be part of my collection just to complete a box set. Yeah, if it's in the $5 bin. Should you go see this movie because there's something spectacular that happens, like a plot twist? No. Is there great action sequences that are going to make you go, wow, that just happened? No. Is it spectacular CGI that you're thinking, man, this is going to hold up in the next 10 years? No. So a D, save your dollars. If you got a budget, $1, $2 theater, go see it then. If not, Redbox it. It's a D.
I'm honestly going to give it a D. To me, seems too harsh, because a D reminds me, because when I think of D, I'm thinking of like, what's the 22 Jump Street, and like there was nothing to me redeeming about that movie other than Ice Cube's character. But this movie, I think if they would have at least tried a little harder, I feel that. Because it had some great ideas. Like, there were some really, really solid ideas. Like, even the John Connor Terminator thing, that whole, like, concept of basically nanomachines. Like, that whole concept was kind of like, oh, I could get down with that. But again, I'm not gonna sit here and tell you, yeah, go see this movie. I'd say a C minus. I think a D would be too hard, so I'm gonna say a C minus on this, and it's just because there are elements of this movie where you really like, okay, I could see where this goes. Like the first half of the movie, it's actually, you know, you're like, okay, and then like time travel happens again, and you're like, okay, this is no, okay, now you messed up. Yeah, I'm gonna say a C minus. I guess maybe we can talk about some of the previews, maybe that, and even then that looks bleak.
Yeah, I mean, the previews look mediocre at best. I mean, James Bond Spectre, am I saying that correctly? Scepter. What's the James Bond movie coming out?
I think it's Spectre.
Spectre, yeah. James Bond Spectre. That's November, though. Ant-Man next weekend. Finally. Pixel the weekend after that. You convinced me to go see that. And
watch it suck. And if it sucks, I'm sorry. Yeah, I'm sorry for that.
I got you to go see 22 and 21 Jump Street, so.
Yeah. What was it? I'll be honest with you, man. Like, it's two movies that are like Straight Outta Compton is one of them. There was another movie that trailer that came out that I was like, because the thing about Straight Outta Compton, I want to see how they do is you got to think about it. Like, I'm interested in that movie because if you look at Dr. Dre and Ice Cube now compared to then, it's like they're two totally different people. And I mean, you know, it's interesting because, you know, think about, like, Ice Cube was part of NWA and now he's making family films. I mean, you know, and then Dr. Dre, he went from this producer in the hood to pretty much being a multi-million-dollar mogul with like a product line that was bought by Apple. I mean, it's crazy to see. I mean, it's like that kind of story. I want to see how they treat it. So that's right now. It's like Straight Outta Compton, Mission Impossible, Ant-Man. Ant-Man. I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm interested to see how Ant-Man is. I'm not. But Ant-Man, I kind of feel like it's going to be like a Guardians of the Galaxy. Like, it's going to be, people are going to treat it like the best Marvel movie ever because they expected it to be terrible. Like, I don't think Guardians of the Galaxy really is anything to run home about. I think it's good. It's just like when people say it's the best Marvel movie ever, I'm like, yeah, you have not seen enough movies to understand that. Because if you're saying that Guardians is better than the first Avengers movie, something's wrong with you. But I don't know. I think Ant-Man's gonna go ahead. I'm sorry.
Guardians just prove one point: is that their writing cast at Marvel Disney can basically make a great script to get people to fill a theater. That's what Guardians proves.
I would agree, and that's great for them. I mean that's awesome for them. It's just that, you know, the rest of the world, it's like that, and that's how I feel Ant-Man's gonna be. I think it's honestly gonna be. I think it's gonna be good. I don't know if it's going to be anything that's you're going to run home about. I expect it to be probably like in the B plus range. Like, you go home and be like, yeah, that was better than I expected, and that's kind of where I sit at with it. So right now, that's The Man from U.N.C.L.E., Mission Impossible, Ant-Man, Mission Impossible, Man from U.N.C.L.E., Spectre, Pixel. Is like Pixel. I'm getting worried. Because it's like, you know, it was a lot of buzz about the movie, and then it kind of just died, and you're like, okay, well, if it's good, then it should be creating more buzz. And I'm hearing some positive buzz about Ant-Man. So I mean,
my sister said that Adam Sandler had to apologize for something that he said or does in the movie.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
So, you know, it's one of those things. It's like The Interview. I had no intentions of seeing The Interview because it was Seth Rogen, James Franco, and I'm thinking this movie's going to be a smoker retarded film. Why the hell should I waste my time on it? But when Sony dropped the axe on it, I was like, well, hell, now I'm going to see it. I mean, once you take something away from me, I want it even more. So I want to know, are they going to take something offensive out of Pixel? That's going to make me like, okay, now I need to go get the special limited cost ridiculous amount of money edition movie just so I can see that one thing he had to apologize for. So yeah. I'm secretly excited about Pixel because I want to know what was so offensive to me.
Yeah, everybody gets offended about something, I guess. So whatever.
You know, I mean, that is true. Anybody with an internet connection now has an opinion. That's why we're doing this show. So it's kind of, you know, it's like a catch-22.
Right. That's exactly right.
Well, so sorry, folks, we didn't have more to say about Terminator Genesis. You know, childhood dream crushed twice in one summer.
Right. Yeah. I think that sums it up about right.
Hopefully, you know, the movies we listed off, Ant-Man, Man from U.N.C.L.E., Mission Impossible, James Bond movie, those will be good coming up because, you know, unlike last year when I was thinking, okay, I really want a movie to bash, I've had an abundance of movies.
Yeah, like, you know, but let's be honest, like they're not terrible movies.
They're not loosey bad.
Nah, they're not terrible movies. It's just that they're movies that you can tell it's like they're making them because the timing seems right to make them, and we can print money. And I hope. Unfortunately, we know another Jurassic Park movie is coming. Like, we know that that's going to happen. I think it's going to be pretty much Jurassic Park 2 redone. You know, I have this feeling because there's no way you can really do anything theme park related to that movie. You know, and that's the same thing I feel like here. It's like, well, we can make a franchise out of it, and old enough to where, hey, you know what? We can probably get this and people will go see it. And the theater that I saw it in actually had a fairly large amount of people. So I mean, it's not the movie. I don't know if the movie's doing terribly or not, but I mean, I'd like to see either new ideas or treatments of movies done correctly. That's really what I would like to start seeing again.
Well, I have to agree with you, but if you're gonna, I don't know why we keep going back to Jurassic World, but if you're gonna remake a movie that's previously been done that people grew up loving, and honestly, if you go back today and watch a 1992 movie with obviously computer animation, you're like, wow, that's amazing.
Yeah, it is actually. Yeah,
you have to do the movie right, and I put it to this: the 1990 Captain America versus the year 2013, was it? Captain America. Even though everybody said that Captain America movie was the necessary evil, when you compare Captain America to Captain America, you improved on the product that you already had.
That's true.
That's all we're asking for. Like Hulk, the Ang Lee Hulk versus the Edward Norton Hulk. You improved on the product that we already had. That's all we're asking for. Just improve on the product that we already have. So with that being said, stay tuned. Looks like the next 2 to 3 weeks, we got a couple movies that we're interested in seeing. Hopefully there'll be good movies that we have positive things to say about. But until then, stay classy.